Welcome to Hello Media. Please join me today in welcoming Clyde, the Director of Grace Technology Solutions. We will chat about the importance of online security, how to spot a scam, and online presence.
Why do you work with computers?
I like working with computers because of how easy it makes our lives and the amount of information that it can bring to us literally at our fingertips.
What made you become a cybersecurity analyst?
Well, I got interested in cybersecurity a few years ago. I think going back about a decade or more ago, when the cloud was first becoming popular and people started talking about the cloud. And now suddenly with people moving from putting their data on their local computers or on their phones or on an external hard drive or a USB stick, people were going to start putting their data into the cloud. And we needed to keep this secure. We needed to secure the cloud. We needed to monitor that and make sure people weren't stealing our information from there. So it was at that point in time that I got interested in cybersecurity. So what interested me and what still keeps me interested is the goal of keeping people's data safe and secure.
Have you been hacked before, or have you hacked a hacker before?
Look, I can't really think of a time when I was hacked, to be very honest with you. Occasionally you do find, especially this is going back about 7 or 8 years even, you'd find a little dodgy piece of software on your computer, but as long as you have your virus scanners and all that and you're checking on it, you would find out rather quickly that there was something dodgy on there. So not really hacked. I've had malware jump onto my machine and we've removed it in a timely manner. In terms of have I hacked anyone before, when I say I work with cybersecurity, there's many different branches of cybersecurity. You've got offensive cybersecurity, you've got defensive cybersecurity, you've got cybersecurity from a perspective of where we tell people, we set a bunch of rules for an organization to follow or a company to follow to keep them safe. So I don't actually work for the offensive cybersecurity where I hack someone. What I do is I work with companies to get protections in place for their business and for their data and for their customers or participants' data to keep them safe, keep the data safe, and they operate within that framework.
Have you arrested anyone, or do you work with any law enforcement?
The simple answer to the first question is no, I haven't arrested anyone. I don't work for law enforcement, but in many scenarios we work with law enforcement. So if there's interest in a particular matter, like especially now with all the conflict that's going on in the world, and if law enforcement were to approach me and say, hey, we need your help to find let's say some particular information, like a bunch of logs from a server because we think someone from some country tried to access something in Australia. Can you work with us to help us get this information off that server?
So pretty much against hackers?
Yes, hackers, infiltration, trying to steal information that could be sensitive to either people in Australia or the Australian government. You could get law enforcement asking us to help. It has happened before and I have assisted law enforcement as well.
How did you gain online gaming?
When you're gaming online, the best way to stay safe is to be absolutely aware of what you're doing online. The safest way to play games online is if you have a circle of friends and all of you log on at the same time and play the game together. But if you're playing with a random stranger over the internet, then that's where you really need to be careful, because a lot of these games have built-in functionality to chat with other people and so on. And you don't want to be giving out personal information while you're gaming with someone. So if someone sends you a message while you're gaming and says, hey mate, how old are you? And you go, I'm 25. And what month's your birthday? And you tell them, your birthday is in August. And then the next question, after a few chats and, a few bits of shooting or gaming or whatever you guys do online, the next question will be, so what day in August is your birthday? And you go, oh, it's on the 10th of August. So now they know your exact date of birth because you've told them you're 25 years old, you've given them your date of birth and you've given them the month of birth, and it's not hard for them to work back, what your actual date of birth is. So that's how they steal personal information. So best way to stay safe online, don't give out personal information. Nobody who you're gaming with online needs to know where you live, what you do, how old you are, anything of that sort.
How do people with inappropriate content access your personal information, and how can we manage it better?
People with inappropriate content are just like any other scammer. So there's no different. They operate in the very same way. So they either ask you questions while you're online chatting with them, let's say in some sort of a chat room, or if you're, online and watching something on, let's say, YouTube or something, and you've got the comments section there. It could be something like you go to a dodgy website and there's a form that you fill in there. So they pretty much use the same methods to get information from you. The other way they could do this, of course, is you have these people coming to your door to sell things like, for example, shower heads and solar rebates and all those things. And if you fill out a form, while the person with all good intent is taking that form back, if they drop it on the road and now someone picks it up and goes, there's personal information for me, let me try and scam this person. All scammers work pretty much the same way, so it doesn't matter whether it's inappropriate content or anything else, they work the same way.
What kind of information we can use to stay safe?
Some very basic tips that you can use and follow to stay safe online is always keep your devices up to date. So if you've got a laptop, if you've got a phone, if you've got a tablet, always keep the software up to date. Wherever you can, use multi-factor authentication. So what that means is basically you've got your username, you've got your password, and then some sort of a code that either gets sent to your phone, or you have an app that gives you a code and you put it in. And then other things that you can do is make your passwords longer. Rather than putting words as passwords, try and make it a phrase, like I love coffee is a better password than coffee123. Takes, a scammer or a hacker longer to break that password than it would to break a password like coffee123, where you're using words and numbers. So use longer passwords.
And what about lowercase?
That's a very good question. So make sure that your passphrase, so in the I love coffee, for example, use a mix of lowercase, uppercase, and numbers. For example, the I could be an exclamation mark, the O could be a 0, the E could be the number 3. But when you still look at it, it looks as like I love coffee. It's a fantastic question.
How can I protect the phone and the laptop and the weather?
With your laptop, what I recommend is getting a good case, a waterproof case. Now there's two parts to it, because we have to think about dry, warm weather, and you also need to think about wet weather, yeah? So you've got a waterproof case that's going to keep your laptop safe when it's raining or drizzling and you need to take your laptop, let's say, from this room to your car. But you've also got to think of what happens on a day when it's 38 degrees and you're putting that case, or putting your laptop in that case. You want to make sure that you always shut down your laptop, because when you put it in a case, if you not shut it down properly, it's going to overheat and that will damage your laptop. So just as dangerous as the rain is to your laptop, heat is equally dangerous. So always shut down your laptop, put it in the case. The case is good, it's good protection, but always shut down your laptop.
Should you report scammers and where?
You can report scammers by going to the website. So the Australian government has a website and it's called scamwatch.gov.au. It's very important to watch for those scams, and when they come out there, to report it.
How can young people and children stay safe online?
It's very important, in addition to us educating our children in math and science and English and all those things, it's very, very important that we educate them to stay safe online. Now, most schools do a program to teach children how to stay safe online, but as parents, it's very important, not just as parents, but even as older siblings, as cousins, as aunts and uncles, you need to educate young children about staying safe online, about being able to know when someone is trying to chat with you. There should be no reason for anybody to chat with you if you're trying to study online. And if someone's trying to chat with you or ask you information about where you live or how old you are, to go and get an adult immediately, end the conversation, get an adult immediately. That's one aspect of it, us teaching the children what to do. But we also need to be aware as adults, as older siblings and so on, to be aware of what young kids are doing when they're online. For example, being in the same room as them, checking in on them from time to time, checking your YouTube search history. It's very important that in addition to giving them the power or the knowledge to identify when something is going wrong, that we make them know that we are still there to support them, and also that we are there monitoring, so that should they have any sort of bad influence online, we can intervene as older siblings or parents or a family friend or a relative. Yeah.
How do we stay one step ahead of scammers?
It's always a struggle to think of how we can stay one step ahead of the race. The scam race is a big one, and you have so many people out there scamming people. So simple tips: think before you act. I think that's the best advice I can give anyone. Think before you act. If someone is on the phone to you saying, you know, your internet's not working or there's a virus on your laptop, get your laptop now, get your credit card out. You don't need to do that. Just turn off your device and call a professional. You don't need to respond to anybody over the phone. Call a professional. There are lots of organizations, including us, who do that work. So don't fall for a scam. Stay ahead of it. The other way is also, when you're filling out personal information anywhere, be mindful, because that's how scammers get to you. They have to get your information from somewhere. And if you can do your bit, if every one of us can do our bit to not unnecessarily give out personal information because we want an LED light or a balloon from Fountain Gate, that will keep your information safe and keep scammers from getting to you in the first place.
If anybody wants more information, how do we find out?
So you can go to our website. That's the best way to find out more information about us and what services we provide. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram page. Just look up Grace Technology Solutions and get in touch with us if you need any help.
We trust you enjoyed our interview. It was great to have you in, Clyde.